Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. I'm back. Tonight we are adventuring into the tongue twister that is the Tales of Hyperborea. We are playing Hyperborea, swords and sorcery and weird science fantasy in a kind of, it's a OSR retro AD&D game with a weird world that floats in orbit of Jupiter. And we'll get into more of that in a bit. But before we do, we've got my lovely crew with me tonight, and Aldoon. Let's go first round the team, and everyone will tell you what they know about their characters. I should say, we haven't played this before, and the guys are jumping in the deep end and embracing the madness of Zathokwa. But we'll find out more about him as well. I think I say him later. Let's go to Aldoon first.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to whatever it is we're playing. I've lost track already.
Hypergartopia, you called it.
Yes, Hypergartopia, or Gartoborea, or some cronut stuff muffin. Combination of things. I will be playing this evening a purloiner, a holy thief priest from the Carolingian Frank group, faction, folk who found themselves in this weird space science fantasy gloriousness that we are going to explore together. I can't tell you much else about him because I haven't figured out much else myself.
In OSR games, you don't build a big background anyway. You figure it out as you play and make it up as you go. It's good fun. Thank you very much, Aldoon, and apologies for the human technical error there. Let's go next to Dennis. How are you doing, Dennis?
All right, Pete. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me to High Torpedo Boyar something.
Torpedo.
Something like that. I thought I'd bring along Lawful Good. He's a paladin.
That's a surprise.
Surprise with that name. Much like I haven't figured out too much about him just yet. Sure. He's
equipment and
probably
abilities.
He's incredibly noble. He's also very much restricted, like the old paladins were, in having to be very good and very upstanding and very honorable. So that's gonna gel really, really well with a thieving priest or a priestly thief.
For God.
Which one? The evil one.
Which one have you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what unfolds.
Awesome, excellent. And finally to Dan, who carries on the interesting naming convention.
Hello, everybody. I'm not going to attempt to be funny like everybody else with the Gartopia names, so it's Hyperborea or Gorborea or whatever he said it was. I am playing. I'm playing a bit outside my usual wheelhouse, to be honest. So everyone who ever watches Garblag will know that I normally play someone who goes around hitting people. That's not what I'm playing. I'm playing a shaman. I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm probably going to be dead in the first 5 minutes, but it's going to be hilarious. My character is called Alika from the House of Zam, and she's an Atlantean. Yes, those of you will know that she is called Alakazam. She is an Atlantean.
They figured it out, Dan. They figured it out. Don't worry. They're sharp. They're sharp, our audience.
I can't see the audience, so
no,
I don't know.
That's true.
But she is an Atlantean, so cue lots of jumping in water, otherwise she dries out. Should be highly amusing. We shall see what happens.
Are you slightly fishy?
Yes, so she's they describe it as glaucous. She's got like a very light grey blue skin. It's got like a sort of oily sort of texture. She's got gills in her neck. She's got webs in her hands and her feet.
Okay. They are probably the most different species.
They are indeed.
Play in. Everything else is humans. I should say that this kind of the origins in this world are from Earth of old, right? And Hyperborea, or Gartopoborea, or Hypergartopia, or Torpedogopia, is a hexagonal flat world floating in the orbit of Jupiter, and it has a central mountain, and north is pointing at the mountain, and east is to your right if you're looking at the mountain, and west is to the left if you're looking at the mountain, and south is out towards the edge. And there are 6 obelisks, one on each corner of the hexagon, that, I don't know, create some magical field. No one really knows. They do something weird and keep the whole thing from falling apart. Water pours off into the darkness beyond. So it's a really strange world, and people from all over history of Earth, Romans, Frankish, various all groups, have been snatched up by various dark powers, gods, creatures of old, and brought to Hyperborea. And there they have started to survive, live, and make their way and build different civilizations. So there's a whole interesting world. It's really quite funky, really quite interesting. It's quite old school in some of its approach, let's put it that way. And we may sort of avoid some of those parts and just have a fun adventure in a weird setting, right? So I should say, before we begin, it is a D&D retro clone, but it's inspired much more, as you can tell, by all that kind of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Michael Moorcock, Jack Vance, all those kinds of Lovecraft, Howard, all that stuff, Conan and all those things. It's all in there. There's all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting and a little bit weird. So that's cool. And it's a retro clone, so it's like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with some changes, slightly different resolution mechanics, which do make it a little bit more centralized, which I like. Characters follow a bit more of a standard format, which is quite cool. It's a bit streamlined from the old AD&D formats. Combat is done with D20s, much like today's 5th edition, 5th and a half edition. And most other things are either a D6 roll or a D12 roll. So, or occasionally a percentile when it gets crazy, when it gets really crazy. So, on your character sheets, guys, you'll see that there is a task resolution mechanic off to one side. Let me see if I can just bring this into view. There we go. I can show it on the screen. This task resolution mechanic will roll you a d6 with the target number of equal to or less than. So if I say, oh, you've got a 3 in 6 chance of doing that, you'd roll challenging. Yeah, because you've got a 3 in 6 chance. Now, what's different is if you have a test of strength or a test of dexterity specifically, or test of constitution, that's based on your attribute, but it will still give you a d6 roll. Okay, so I might say make a test of strength, and then you'd roll based on your strength, and there's a little button for you to do that, and you can roll that. Dan, roll a test of strength for our viewers to see. There you go. Test of strength, target 2. D6, 1d6 minus 0, a 6. You failed. There you go. I like it's got a little, resolves it as well, tells you whether you've passed or failed. It's quite cool. It's fairly simple, the Foundry we are using Foundry, I should say it. So it doesn't have everything. We're not going to do all battle maps. This is going to be more theatre of the mind. So you just have to join in with us. But we wanted to use the dice roller just to make it clear and fair. Unfortunately, Roger's not playing, so I've disabled the crap roll button. So you're all okay. So you get experience like in D&D. You get it for various things: gathering gold, defeating monsters, using your abilities, overcoming problems, using, coming up with really cool ideas, all that kind of stuff. So as usual. And a lot of the other things have a similar names to current Dungeons and Dragons, but have just a minor twist on them. And we'll go through the rules as we go. So if you're watching and you're a Hyperborea expert, apologies. This may be a little bit slower around some of the edges in the rules than you might hope, but we'll try and keep the rules a bit light anyway, and just play. Okay, right, you guys, you've got all your equipment, you've got your abilities written down somewhere. The character sheets are a little bit clunky for that, but you know, we can get them all in there eventually. But mainly dice are good. So the three of you are friends and you are journeying. Bear with me for I will begin. Very brief. Here we go. The last time you ventured this close to the striped gulf, the pitiful peasants of the coastal towns still bore the eye of Zathokwa, the sloth-bodied toad god of... Oh, bear with me. Life, death, reincarnation, pestilence, disease, luck, misfortune, cruelty, savagery, mischievousness, and sardonicism. He is portrayed as a colossal sloth-bodied toad covered in brown-black fur with massive membranous wings. His most widely worshipped deity of Hyperborea is the deity of chaos. So that doesn't necessarily mean evil, it just means chaos, right? And you have been in this region before. You have been to Huskrin before, and it's a fairly well built up town on the edge of the coast. And I've given you guys a little map that you can see, and I might see if I can get that on the screen for our viewers quickly, just so they can enjoy that fun. Oh, here we go. Transform. Let me just reduce it down. Here we go. So this is just over our faces at the moment, and our viewers will see that rather than our wonderful visages. So you're coming up from the bottom of the map there with that white dotted line, heading towards the coastal region of the Striped Gulf, up towards the Crab Archipelago. And you've been to Huskrin before. It's a trading town. It's a fishing town. You know, it stinks of fish and sweaty people moving about. Imagine, you know, Conan, the villages in Conan the Barbarian, the towns he visited, big markets, throngs of people, that kind of thing. And you know that there are some mines nearby where the people go and toil all day, and then they come back into the town and drink all night. So you've been here before. You've kind of, as adventurers, come across this town before. You've had a few drinks. You've had wild nights. There's always talk of things going on in this area. There's battles between the various towns. There's always someone looking for help, looking for support, looking for some able-bodied adventurers to do a job, do a task. And you're kind of a band of wandering adventurers making your way across the land, potentially heading up towards the Crab Archipelago, looking for work on your way. However, as you approach this time, things are a little bit different. So normally it's just wretched people trying to scratch out a living under the orthodoxy, and you've never really lingered that long. You've kind of come and moved on after a few days. You know, normally checking in that there are no fresh rumours or relics washing ashore, you know, would mean you'd only sort of hang around for a bit to see if there's any news. What mining they had was sparse, and few precious gems bright enough to draw your eye was ever pulled out of the cold earth here. A few run-ins with fishermen, the odd orc tribe, but nothing really of note. So imagine your surprise when you arrive in Huskrin, the first town on your old trail, to find that the eyes of Zathokwa were marred with paint, damaged by hammers, or replaced with large crustaceans. People moved about town with harried purpose and clear discomfort. By midnight, you find yourselves in a tavern, drinking, and you hear talk of a new cult having moved in overnight. It seems they've replaced the old sackmaster who used to run the town, and his head now sits on a spike. A above the western gate on the other side of town. This tavern, we're going to start in a tavern. It's classic D&D, right? So I haven't done that in years. So you're in this tavern. It's got torches burning. There's a big fire hearth. There's people singing, music playing, and people moving around. And the three of you have come in, found yourselves some cups of ale, and kind of sat down in the corner to kind of get a sense of the town. And as people sort of are enjoying themselves, but it's not as wild as the times when you've been here before. You've seen a lot of people really having that kind of, we're toiling in the mines, we're coming in and we're really letting go, we're going to work hard and we're going to play hard. But here they seem to be a little bit calmer, and you do notice Jean. Should I call you Jean?
But of course.
You notice a figure walking in wearing a robe, and you can tell it's a man. He's got a kind of steel look, and he's glancing around the room as he walks, and he seems to be sort of checking up on people. The sleeves of his robe have been torn away. He's got a large necklace with shells all over it, and his right arm has been painted like a bright red. Yeah, clearly like some kind of paint or something on him.
And this is a new affectation? This is like
and you haven't seen this definitely for Huskrin. This seems to be brand new, and you're kind of getting your bearings as people are moving around.
I'm going to tap on the table and give the signal to my two stalwart companions that we're possibly a mark is approaching, but certainly someone other than usual. And gesture to the... what is the robed person doing? Are they approaching the bar? Are they still scanning?
So they're walking through the tables, and you kind of got these low round tables with seats around them. And it's kind of... most people come in and either go to a table or they go to the bar. He is moving around the tables and kind of looking at people. And as he goes, they're kind of like quietening down a little bit. They're still talking and still doing their thing, but his presence does seem to sort of quieten whichever table he moves past. He seems to be coming towards your table on his little rounds.
Do we owe this person money? I don't think we do, but it looks like Dad has come to the pub.
Pretty much.
Pete, given my
Yes.
Atlantean background and my shaman background, would I have any understanding of a crustacean god, even in like rumor or anything like that?
There are several lesser crustacean gods up and down the striped gulf, and you know further up there's the crab archipelago, right? So it turns into an archipelago. But this seems like quite a strong affectation. Like this is clearly a cult, right? And as he gets closer, you can see he's even gone so far as to bind his fingers together as if like a claw. Yeah, just on the red side.
Oh, we should do like the googly. Everyone walk sideways. It makes it much more comfortable.
And he, as he approaches your table, he seems to slow down and stop, and he looks
Hello?
across all of you, and he walks sideways around the table,
Oh, see, I told you.
looking at you.
Sideways. Hello, Mr. Crab.
You are not wearing your shells, he
We're
says.
wearing
And
now-
suddenly you kind of look around and you notice that everybody else has got something on, like a necklace with a shell, or like something on their clothes, or they've sewn something in. You know, they're all, and you are shellless.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. We have just arrived in town. We did not know. Where can we get the shells? Is there a local
He
shell?
opens one side of his robe, and there's a series of shells on strings of different sizes and different colours. He says, blessings from the pearlescent tower are right here.
Okay, I'm going to hand over to my very good friend Alika here, who knows much more about shells than I do. I will be over here with this inferior wine.
I mean,
The
Alaka is
barman goes,
wearing.
oi!
Alaka is that she isn't wearing shells. But
Okay.
she does have a trident-shaped coral, quite a large, sort of about yay big, sort of
Okay.
sitting in the chest.
Mhm.
And she's just going to say, "What's the purpose of these shells? May I ask?"
There, show your devotion. It's just a few coppers each as a donation to the new orthodoxy.
Oh, I can't do that. I am a worshipper of Lunaqua.
Closes his robe slowly, as if he's barely able to control himself. Well, if that's how it is,
Oh, sorry.
He's
Could
like-
I ask, what is the name of your god?
leans a bit closer to like stare at you.
Did you do it specifically to
Yeah,
Alaka?
yeah.
As he gets close, she gets a bit uncomfortable, and when she gets uncomfortable, you can see her gills kind of come up in her neck, as if like, "Don't come any closer."
This seems like a perfect opportunity for pickpocketing to me.
Would you care to do that?
Yeah, got it.
What's your
Alaka will
pickpocketing
distract.
chance?
What's my whatting chance?
Your
No idea.
It's a thief skill.
Is it? That's nice.
You're a purloiner,
I'm a purloiner.
which is
Yeah.
a fantastic name for a class. I purloin things for the church.
Yes.
It's not stealing.
No, not at all.
Here we go.
I don't know how any of it.
Noise. traps.
There is a pickpocket to
Pickpockets.
filch items from pockets using nimble fingers and distraction.
Go back to the thief page. Here we go. Let's have a look. It's going to be something in 12, probably. So you'll need a D12.
Okay.
Here we go. Pickpockets is 4 in 12. So you want to roll a D12 and get 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think if you roll a... here we go. Failure by a margin of 3 or greater indicates that the attempt has been observed.
Yeah.
Though not necessarily by the victim. Interesting. I like that.
Mm.
The roll is successful. The referee must determine what has been procured. This covers sleight of hand trickery as well. So if you wanted to like do a little trick with a hide a key on your pocket and that kind of thing. Okay.
Shells. So just a straight up D12.
So if you roll a D12,
Any
you want a 1, 2, 3, or 4.
of that? Or is it just?
Do you
No,
have
it's just a 4 in 12 chance, I believe. Let me have a look.
Does he get a bonus for having dexterity? What's your dexterity score, actually? Because it says
60.
each ability is associated with a potential modified by an exceptional attribute. So if your dexterity is 16 plus, pickpockets is covered by that, and you might get a bonus on that. I don't know what that means.
Tempting a thief ability. And potentially. Okay, pickpocket is 16 plus dexterity, modified by an exceptional attribute, increasing the chance in 12 by 1. Is your dexterity 16 or more?
Is 16.
Okay, in which case you have a 5 in 12 chance.
There we go.
There
There's
you go.
an odds, right?
Dan's always the one who spots the rules. Well done, Dan.
That's why we like to bring Dan. Right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to roll 1d12 and probably roll a 12. A 9.
Okay.
It's not a 12.
No, but it's
Probably
3 or
entire
more than what you
It
needed.
is certainly 3
Yeah.
more than the target. Yes.
So as you're as he leans over to stare at Alika, you lean over, reach towards him to get, I assume, to take one of the things out of his.
Wow.
And as you do, the barman is sort of moving around the bar a bit, and he sees what you're doing, and he looks at you and he just goes,
It's because I was mean about the wine. Is that the problem?
Do
I
you
say,
wish-
barman, more of this possible wine.
That's better.
And I'll sit back again.
Okay. But so you're not going to take it?
No.
Okay, cool. So you don't take anything.
No.
Right. Yes. This cultist is looking at you. It's almost like He's trying to commit your face to memory.
It's a very defined face.
It's the dim light, though. You remember, you're in it's like one of these taverns with curving arches between each section of the room and like exposed brick where it's all like earth and mud brick put together, and everyone's kind of shoveling around, and there's like fires going, little lanterns and a fire at one end of the room, so it's a little bit dark, a little bit swords and sorcery.
She had dark yellow eyes. I imagine that's probably very rare.
Dark yellow eyes. Oh yeah. Very well. Well, you two, would you care? Would you care to? And he opens his thing.
Could you please tell me more about your religion and your god? In the pantheon of Hypercartopia is very wide. I just want to make sure I wouldn't be offending any of the other gods who currently have me on their bad list.
The great Kalkos rises from the ocean soon to come, and claim the pearlescent tower as his throne, and be the Crab King. And we prepare the land from here, the archipelago, and out into the main, for his coming and his passing.
The Crab King?
The Crab King.
Crab King. Okay, and the Crab King will be happy when he sees people wearing shells of crabs?
He will not be happy if you are not wearing one.
But
this is how he will know his followers and his faithful.
He would be upset if we were wearing dead members of his brethren. It seems like awkward. It's like if I was wearing you as a hat and I met your brother. This would be like rude, yes?
You know not his ways.
Well, no, this is why I ask the questions. We ask, we learn, yes?
Why would I wear it if it was an offense to him?
Well, I'm just trying to understand. This is a new religion. We just got to take the time to talk things through, okay? Not to jump
He
to
stares. He leans towards you, trying to stare at you through the dark. You think this guy might be nearsighted, and he kind of leans forward.
You want to see an optometrist? Maybe you are needing the lunette. You have these in the Crab Kingdom? I don't know.
The two of you seem trouble. He turns to Lafal.
Good luck with that one.
Are you trouble as well?
Rarely. Only to criminals and ne'er-do-wells and such like.
There are some within the city who do not follow the Crab King's true ways and merely wears their shells as a guise, as obfuscation of their true intent to keep to the ways of Zathorqua.
Who?
Zathorqua.
The toad. Remember the toad?
The toad. Yeah, it was here previously, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was very good. I liked the sardonic nature. I was particularly big
The crab kills the toad.
Oh, okay, so crab beats toad. Oh, see, that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Depends on the size of the toad, surely.
Oh, have you seen
the crab.
big crabs?
But I guess if you're king crab, then maybe you can beat
all along the Gulf now. The great soldiers of his empire step forth onto dry land to teach us their ways. And he snaps his claw in your face.
Crab soldiers. Crab soldiers?
And more
Is
besides.
it just crabs? Is it all crustaceans? I'm just trying to understand.
He seems to be running out of knowledge. I haven't got a full list on me right now. I'll have to go and get some scripture to. He seems to be troubled by these questions.
Maybe we could see your manager. I don't know. Maybe they know a little bit more.
That's a good question, John. Do lobsters count? Does the Crab King allow lobsters?
He spits on you. Say not that word in my presence.
Okay, so
the langoustine, the gamba, only the crab. Only the one type of crab? Is it many types of crab?
All crab.
All crab. Okay, so we have the really long leg crab. They freak me out. What to say? We have
They are nice.
claw.
Those crabs. I like the ones with long legs.
Okay.
they taste very nice. Actually,
What's the one with the big claw?
This is the crab.
I like the big claw.
Yes, I can see you are modeling yourself on the big crab.
I am in the first echelon.
Okay. And if you're in the second echelon, you actually get a proper claw?
Watch your words. I've had enough of you. This.
Frankly,
He kind of looks around. No one else here is giving me such trouble. Speaking out against the Crab King.
We're not speaking out. I am merely inquiring.
You are asking questions. The Crab King does care not for questions.
Oh, you did not mention that. You see, you should have led with that, and then we would.
Everybody here knows that, and they all sort of nod as he kind of shouts around the room.
You have only just arrived. You have to make understandings.
Very well. 2 coppers a shell.
Is it a nice show?
It will take you out from under his eyes.
But don't we want to be under the eyes of the Crab King?
If he stares at you, you will die.
With the big long eyes?
If they turn upon you.
Oh, okay, death ray
I'll-
eyes.
I'll-
No.
I'll take some shells. I'm sure I'll be in good company.
How many would you like? I'm doing a deal of 5 for the price of 4.
I'll have 5 then. That seems like an
Very
excellent
well.
deal.
8 copper pieces, please.
I have a gold piece. Is that equivalent? I don't know.
You people coming out of town with your big coins, no
Bloody-
change.
Can you break a 5?
He roots around in his pocket.
Did you break 100?
Can you break on?
He roots around in his pocket. And he has 39 copper pieces.
Jesus.
I can give you that change. And then he dumps all of his shells on the table. He dumps 12 shells on the table.
Excellent. Good deal.
There you
Excellent.
go.
Shell company jokes there. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what
He
was
takes your gold piece.
We did not
Sure.
be introduced. I'm so sorry, very rude of us. We were so taken with your presence that we never actually introduced.
I am Brack.
Brack of the first echelon.
Yes. You've heard of me.
Yes, just now.
Oh, he's sort of scooping the stuff up, and he's pushed it towards you, taken his gold piece, and he's like, "Nice to have met you."
The pleasure was all yours.
And he, as he turns, he looks at Alika again, and then walks out, and he sort of heads pretty much straight towards the door this time. And as he gets pretty much outside, the barman comes over and he says, "Oh, what are you doing?
Collecting shells.
Wicked friend?
Don't annoy them."
These are very nice shells.
Oh, 3 weeks ago it was just another crab cult. Now they've moved in and taken over the sackmaster's house. They're in charge. They're running the bloody mine.
Oh.
All of us shell sales.
Would the sackmaster be interested in getting his house back?
I'm sure he would, but he'd be more interested in getting his head back. It's above the eastern gate.
No, they don't pay so well. Maybe not then. Okay.
No, there are some people in town who are not so keen on these folk, but if I were you, I'd just be careful. They've taken over his house and have set it up as some sort of temple.
It is interesting.
Yeah, this
So
all happened after there was a big hit in the mine. They found was it rubies? I think it was rubies. Yeah, they found rubies. Well, and a guy nearby leaning over who's earwigging, because you guys are obviously the most interesting people in the tavern, says, "Not rubies, a big ruby, you idiot." They're calling it the Crab King's Eye.
Oh, who are calling it the Crab King's Eye? The crazy crab people or everyone else?
Well, yeah, the cult of the Crab King.
Oh, okay. So, because they would probably call pretty much everything something of the Crab King.
I know, they're
Big
idiots.
stick.
Oh, and he looks
What
around
exactly
almost
was
like
the
there
crab?
might be someone in the room keeping an eye on him. Anyway, and he turns and he drinks. The barman's like, "You got to be careful. They've kind of got everyone a bit excited. They've signed lots of people up to this cult. Everyone who signed up for the Sackmaster, they switch sides pretty quickly. And there's stories of this going on all along the Striped Gulf, and crabmen coming out of the sea."
Oh, yes.
That's
Beck mentioned the warriors of the Crab King emerging from
Yeah,
these.
not just crabs, and not just giant crabs, and fish people. There's some fish people as well. I think the crab people have taken over the fish people's patch and brought them up as soldiers or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But
Okay.
there's crab men, and they are nasty.
The snippy,
Snippy, shooty.
shooty.
Oh.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
clever.
that is
They're not just crabs. They're like descendants of the Crab King. Apparently, I don't know. I can't remember. Someone came around. We all got a speech in the market square about the Crab King and how amazing he is, and the bounties of the sea and all such things. I mean, half the town are fishermen, half the town are miners. So half of them were up for it, and the other half weren't. When that half took over that half, well, now the mine's being run by the cult of the Crab King.
That answered my question.
Have you seen the crab people?
Not here. No. Apparently there's a couple of them running Tennecorn now. Here it's just those idiots who paint themselves red or blue or whatever.
First
It's like
echelon.
red and then blue and... No, red, green, blue. He turns to the guy. Is it red, green, blue, or is it red, blue, green? It's red, green, blue. That's it. Echelons. Red, green, blue. Yeah.
Trouble.
Okay, so if we find a blue one, then we've got our rich one.
Oh, they're in the
Okay.
temple. They kind of hang out in the temple, and they're... I don't know, they're weird. They're doing some weird things.
Okay, so basically, this is all nice. It's a very good local color. We're here to find some work. It sounds like there is a whole new religion has moved in, and it's going to kind of cramp everybody's style. You did mention something about a giant ruby, though.
There's a giant ruby that I think they're moving to the temple soon. They found it in the people now around are starting to look at you, and he's like, but anyway, he's sort of realised there's too much conversation going on, and everyone around is kind of listening.
Yes, Barman, we would like some rooms for the night and some decent food. Maybe a seafood platter.
Somewhere to put my shells.
Also,
You're favoured by the Crab King, clearly.
Lofel, are you going to share with the group, or are they all for you?
Do you want one? You get one.
Well, I think it might be easier to pass unbothered. If
Yeah. I've got 37. So yeah. Come on.
Okay, I
You've
will.
got 12 shells. 37.
Awful can't count.
That sounds like a paladin.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Is it shiny?
If I smash one, it's many shells now. Is that how it? No.
Oh, don't do that.
Anger the Crab King.
Yeah.
Snippy.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. He says, okay, yeah, sure, you guys can have a room. I've got one little... Yeah, we're not... this isn't the temple. It's not separate chambers for everyone. But we've got a side room that you can take for the night for a silver piece.
Will you take a shell?
No, I will not take a shell.
Oh.
Name's Gerd.
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 Gert.
But this is just
Gerd.
of the evening.
Yeah.
Gerd the barkeep. You have run a very tolerable bar.
And if you want a job, then once you get yourself settled, let me know and I'll bring you a flagon of ale and we can have a chat.
Well, it sounds like an excellent proposition.
Gerd, is there any chance of a salt bath by any chance?
Not here. No, I'm afraid we don't.
I'll just
any
take
here.
a walk down to the pier later.
Okay, just be careful because all the docks and all the piers, they've got, they've often got one of them on the pier watching the water, watching people. But yeah.
Okay. I'll just have a normal bath I can add. And she gets out this big jar and it's got some not great smelling gel stuff in it.
Okay.
And I could just add this later. That's fine.
Okay. Can you make sure you like click like? Yeah. Anyway. Good. Right. Well, look. Here you go. Pours you all another passable wine, and sort of moves away. And you guys spend a bit of time. You look at these shells, and they're just little shells. You know, there's nothing really fancy about them. They're all different shapes and sizes, and they've all had like a very small hole. You know, carefully drilled. You'd say drilled, but you know, with a little file or something, just to make a little small hole and then loop a thread through, so you can wear them as a necklace. All of these, and everybody else is like pretty drunk and starting to wander off. As I said, it was midnight, so it's late, and you guys have got all your gear, and you start to go over to the side. He sort of points across at a room, passes you a key, and says, "That over there." And through like drapes, right, that you kind of pull aside, there's some stairs up to like a loft type thing, but it's kind of, you can kind of see up there, and it's kind of low ceiling. But through there, through another kind of curved archway, you can see that there's like a door set into the wall, and you go over and you can unlock it. And there's a bunch of them. And you go in, it's got like low pallets, like 4, 5 around the room. You know, there's a table with like a jug of water at one end, and like a rag, you know, just for mopping up any puke that anyone might have. There's like a drain in the corner, which you assume is where everything kind of goes on. And you think, hang on, maybe this used to be some sort of cell or something, but now it's like turned into a tavern.
Indoor.
Yeah. So you go in the room and deposit all your gear. Do you want to do anything else, like before Gerd comes to say hello, or do you want to go check out the nearby town or anything? You'd seen, you know, it was all kind of closing down. It was quite late and dark. There was a small sort of window with bars in it. But you're probably glad for that, because then people can't get in and mess about with you. So,
Right, probably just have a quick little wander around town and just see if we see any more of these cultists wandering about. Like,
okay, yeah, sure. You all want to go, or just laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, probably because like it doesn't feel like the town is particularly safe for just one of us wandering around. And
This is true.
and Alaka makes a point of like sort of really like making sure that everyone can see her very large trident as she's walking around,
Okay.
just in case somebody wants to start trouble.
Yes, we should probably stick together.
Okay. So you kind of deposit your things, and then you head out into the town through the big doors.
What
Out
kind of
into
lead you go? Gerd! We're just going for a quick nighttime stroll, and then we will
Right.
come back and have that ale and that conversation.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure. Okay. Be safe.
always.
Do our best. We are always safe. With the other people, not so much.
So the three of you head out into what's kind of like there's a market square outside, taverns on the side of this area where people have broken down all the kind of stalls and stands. A lot of it's been packed away. Some of it's still there, and they've just kind of like gone away for the night, and they'll come back and put their wares back out. Some have collapsed things. And dotted around the outside of this are various streets sort of heading out into the town, with sort of large buildings between them. There seems to be a Zathokwa temple, which has been daubed with lots of gifts from the sea to hide all the emblems of the sloth-bodied toad god. Good old Zathokwa. There's one to your right, and there's another one on the other side of the marketplace, just in case you had to walk too far to get to a temple to pray to the god. And then a few buildings that are sort of larger emporiums or the blacksmith, that kind of thing. You know, something that's more of an established building structure. There is another tavern on the other side of town. And there are a few people wandering around. There's one of the roads leads off to the kind of piers and docks where a load of the fishing boats come in, and anyone setting off for trips up the striped Gulf might go or come. So that's one direction, and then the rest is kind of like heading out into the residence, apart from another road which heads up towards what would effectively be like the town hall, which has now been turned into. It used to be the town hall when you were here last, where the sackmaster used to live and run the town, but now you've told it's been turned into a temple.
Mm,
Things have changed a little since the last time we were here.
very much so.
So much fun.
Yeah, can't say I approve of the new decor.
No, I can't take a dip in the sea. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
This is very. You would have thought the crab people would be up for that kind of thing. Maybe it's rock pools only. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think they've really got their theology down pat yet. I kind of got the feeling that Bok was not really up on the detail.
Might be new initiate or something. Might not have, read the entire guidebook yet.
I mean, it could also just be a brand new religion that's
It could also be that, yeah.
based maybe on a tyrant and not a god.
Don't the other gods kind of get a little bit upset about that sort of thing? I mean, no, mine would. What about yours, Lafayette?
They don't really care much as long as I uphold their tenets. Really. And Lafell will just open his chest, and there's a number of religious symbols. This one stands for law, and this one stands for law. And this one's order, and that one's law. So, as long as
It's so odd that we get on, because it's not the other way. I think it's about balance. I think it's basically what's happening here.
yeah, I mean, stealing from the bad people is not bad, right?
No, absolutely, yes. And you know what defines what my God steers me to is that if I can steal from them, then they are bad people.
There you go. Exactly.
Yes.
That's a very, very ordered way of doing that. So I approve.
Yes, very true. It's very good. It nicely sorts itself out.
Yeah.
You're strolling around the marketplace, having a look around,
Having this loud conversation.
having this chat, and you see now it's pretty bare, right? It's getting quite late, and you see the far side a group of people coming up one of the roads, and they are hauling kind of hand carts behind them, and they from where you can see, they seem to be like dirty, really dirty, and there is a figure walking along with them who is a tall person, human looking, that seems to have one large claw arm.
What color is it? I mean, it's a bit dark, but
You can't really tell from here. It's green or blue, you're not sure. Could be turquoise. But they're kind of moving up one of the roads into the marketplace, and you can see that it seems to be like some miners or people bringing something from the mine with a load of workers. So there's probably about 10 people pulling hand carts, and at the front there's this one figure with a big claw, and at the back there's probably like 4 robed guys like Brack, who you met earlier on. Now they're all armed, so they've all got weapons. You can see they've got swords or clubs or something, hanging from their belt, and they are encouraging the miners violently to not like whacking them with a sword, but pushing the carts, being a little bit aggressive, like come on.
Do the miners look like they've been intimidated?
They do look like they're being intimidated, and they look knackered, absolutely, like just pulling these things is the last thing they might be able to do.
Is this going to be like one of those classic movies where one of them's going to fall over and
you'll help them up?
Yeah.
No, they're like on the other side of the marketplace, so they're not near you right now. But if you wanted to, you could go over and see them, or you can continue looking around. A couple of other cult type people moved around. You saw a few in similar robes, but no painted arms. Some people just wearing loads of shells, like really tryhards, kind of moving about.
Really blinged up.
But yeah, the most interesting thing you saw was these miners coming through the marketplace.
I thought maybe we should have a slightly closer look.
It seems very late for a delivery, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Didn't they mention about moving a thing, right?
I didn't want to mention that, but yes, they did mention do any of these carts look like they might have like one really big ruby on them?
You don't know how big the Crab King's eye is.
It's got to be really quite large. Surely he's the Crab King.
Yeah.
But you can't see anything kind of shiny or red from where you are. But they are pulling carts with kind of bales of things or wrapped up stuff in the back. So there could be,
And there are more official, there are like higher echelon crab person at the front.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I will go and talk to them and go, hello!
Move aside.
Hello. No, I had some questions about the crab god, your crab king, your first echelon Bok. He was trying to proselytize and he was not doing a very good job. Hello.
He raises up his hand.
Oh, hello.
And you can see that he's got some kind of crafted crab sleeve
Oh, that's very
on his
nice.
hand. He's not like some sort of crab mutant, which might be possible, but he's just got it's got a thing that's been made. It looks like it would probably hurt you if he snapped you with it.
Okay, please don't snap into that. That's very intimidating. Very good. If that was your intention, you have achieved that.
I am glad that you are interested in the ways of the Crab King, but I'm afraid I have little time to answer your questions now.
Oh, could I accompany you and ask the question?
No, I head to the temple.
Could I find you?
Ask for Klobos tomorrow at the temple, and he points without looking at the building that's been covered in loads of shiny things.
Okay, Klobos, and you are second or third echelon?
He looks at you as if you should know that.
Well, like I said, I have many questions, and your man Bok not very good.
I'm third echelon.
Okay, thank you very much.
You realise his arm is blue.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know. We weren't sure.
It's dark out, so it's hard to tell anyway.
What does the health of the people look like?
They look knackered, but they're not like looking at you like, please help us. They're just like, and they've got their heads down. They look like they are bruised and battered. They don't look like they've been excessively like whipped or anything. I mean, but they're clearly not.
Is any of them got any like really like bad injuries on them, like some bad like gashes or anything like that?
One of them has got like a big nasty bruise across from the sort of waist up to the middle of their back, and seems to be sort of clutching at it.
Then I would like to go walk up to that person and lay my hands upon them and start chanting some chants. This is probably going to be a bit weird for everybody else. And I'm going to use my medicine man skill.
Okay.
So I'm going to treat one person. I'm going to treat one person per day.
Okay.
The process takes one turn to complete. The treatment involves use of herbs and roots and ritualistic dancing. And
Okay. So you pull out some stuff from your
and some incense, and then the recipients immediately heal 1d4 and are stabilised if unconscious. Recipients can receive one treatment per day. So I'm just giving them a light heal, healing up his bruises.
The crab cultists are disgusted. Klobos like turns. How dare you do that in my presence? This is not a gift of the Crab King.
No, it's a gift of Lunaqua. I am a healer. And I've healed your worker. Now they can work for longer.
You have aided the Crab King.
Sure.
But I take note of you, Atlantean.
You know what I am. Your people are normally so uneducated in this thing.
The Crab King knows much of your people.
That's not worrying.
No, that doesn't sound worrying at all.
Hmm.
No. And she kind of makes a purpose of leaning on her trident to like sort of like stand up a bit more straight. You know, she's trying not to be intimidated by the giant crab claw. It's a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, sure.
She's trying not to be intimidated by it.
It's hard, isn't it? May we offer assistance in bringing in the goods to your temple? We wish to
I'm
make.
afraid I do not know you, friend, and hopeful aspirant of the Crab King.
Yes,
But I do like your inquisitive nature. As I said, ask for me tomorrow, and we will find use of you in service of the Crab King.
Oh, but that's
For now, just know it safe that we are taking the bounties of the earth to the Lord of the Sea. And he says, move. And he stays standing there looking at you, and they all have to like painfully go around him to get back, past him onto the road. He says, go now and sleep. It is late.
Okay, is there like a thing in your religion where you're all like my dad?
We watch over all aspirants.
Although,
For one day you may join us in the echelons of the Crab King.
Oh, could I get what? Oh, okay. Does it have to be one particular arm? Because,
You can go whichever arm you wish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My favour, my left, so I went for the right. But anyway, there are many benefits to the third echelon.
Dental?
Crustal.
Well, I look forward to learning more tomorrow.
Very well. And he turns. They've kind of gone past him now, and he heads off.
Thank you,
A few of the cultist guys sort of look at you guys, like a little bit of sizing you up kind of thing as they walk past.
This personal invitation from Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. you just
They all walk past.
your arm.
They all walk past and head towards the temple. From what you could see, there was no one thing in there that was huge. There was just like sacks of stuff. It looked like rough rocks or something inside these bags. You're not sure.
Mm. Maybe we didn't have enough shells or something. If we had more shells, maybe they will let us in. I don't know.
I'm
Know
not
how
sure
this works.
I'm not sure that more shares is the answer.
No?
I mean, it's worth a try.
They seem fanatical.
Yes.
Definitely.
I doubt they would have let us. They're definitely not going to let me in.
No.
What have they got against you?
Well, for one, I'm not going to follow their Crab King. That seems to be the primary thing. Also, I'm not sure how crabs feel about Atlanteans, and it didn't seem to me that they had a very positive inflection upon the fact that I was an Atlantean.
No, exactly. That's like he specifically like pointed out knowing Atlanteans, right?
There's not that many of us left, so
No.
It would seem that a king in the sea is probably not going to be kind to the other denizens of the sea.
Yeah, I'm very interested about these crab people and these other fish people they've apparently got in this army. It's very interesting.
That sounds quite peculiar.
Just also for reference, Alika has like a very like pale, almost blue skin, so so she looks very different to other
You are
humans.
notable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a giveaway.
Cool. Okay, so this troop sort of move off, and now you're kind of really the only people hanging around in the marketplaces. It's must be the 2 a.m. or something, as you've been wandering around and drinking and talking to people and all this stuff.
The bar. Unless you want to go for a quick swim.
Something tells me I'm not going to be allowed to just go jump in the ocean at this moment in time. And I feel like I've already drawn enough attention to myself in the short time that we've been here.
You don't want to mention the fact that you follow another god, maybe loudly again?
A display of that god's powers in front of the followers of the other god.
We all do, so
Yeah.
but
We have got quite a faith-based party.
I think we've all got cleric in our
Yeah.
thing somewhere, haven't we?
Yep.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to people about my god.
No, of course not.
Very commendable.
It's good to do this.
Mm.
Would be a
Cool.
terrible thing unless you were following a trickster god, in which case it's fine.
She squints at you.
So you head back to the bar, and as you come in, you find Gerd is just like tidying up, mopping up, cleaning, all that kind of stuff.
Good.
And he's like, "Oh, you're back,
Hello, Gerd. Hello.
Good.
Gerd."
Good.
Yeah.
Did you manage to annoy anyone while you were out for the last?
Yes,
Half
we met
an hour?
Globos.
Oh,
Globos, third
yeah.
echelon.
Shit.
I healed a miner. He looked very injured, so I healed his bruises and his cuts. They didn't seem to take too kindly to that.
They saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Right.
It's okay. Globos liked me. I have a personal invitation to go and see them tomorrow.
Oh. Be careful, right? Doing other, sorcery stuff around them. They get a bit they don't like it.
No, they did not.
Yeah, so I'd be careful if I were you. Look, you guys can stay a night, but you might have to find somewhere else to stay tomorrow night.
Do you have any recommendations? Do you have like a?
There's another
brother-
place across the market, that you can stay at.
Are they any good?
In fact, definitely stay there, because if they come and try and kill you, they'd have to trash that place and not mine.
Wait, you think they're going to come and try and kill us? That's not very nice.
No.
Like, these people rocked up to town and took over, right?
I
I
don't.
guess they did cut the other last leader's head off. That
And
does
stick it
sort
on a
of-
spike
That
Yeah.
does
for
sort of,
everyone to see.
sort of marry up, yeah.
I don't think they do polite.
I mean, manners cost nothing.
But you have a trident, so maybe we could get 3 heads on that one.
She looks at her trident. Yeah, probably.
Oh, well, something just to bear in mind. Let's put a pin. No, not a pin. Anyway, let's just hold on to that idea.
If we hold it sideways, you can put one at the bottom end as well. So technically, you can fit 4 on it.
Oh my God, this is very official. I like this very much. Sorry,
He's just
Jared,
he's
the
just
color
standing there listening to you guys.
very
He's like,
strange color.
he takes a long hit of some dark alcohol. You're not sure what. He's just like,
None of the rest of us are getting that all the way.
ugh.
Just him.
Right, okay. There's a lot going on in town.
Hmm.
And there are some of us who aren't so happy about things and how it's
Can imagine.
gone. And you've done enough to piss them off that I'm pretty sure you're not fake. You seem genuine. Even you.
Always.
Even you, my Frankish friend. Look, we want to intercept the... when I say we, I mean a group that you don't need to know about, alright? So don't ask me any questions. I've heard all the questions already. He says, looking at the Purloiner. We want to intercept that ruby. Take it out of their hands. We think they actually need it for something. Some sort of sorceress beacon, or I don't know. The Crab King's eye. I think they need it to call the Crab King.
Oh.
That won't be good.
Then
Sure.
We need to be.
They're going to take it to the temple to, I don't know, do some sort of blessing on it. Check it out. I don't know. They're weird, right? I mean, you've met them now, yeah? They're weird, right?
They
Oh, yeah.
are
Oh,
They're-
definitely.
exceptionally strange.
They're doing something, right? And the Sackmaster's house is on the bluff, right, overlooking the sea and all the fishing boats that go below. It's got a great vantage point. We think they're doing something there. I don't know. And then they're going to ship it off. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And you would like us to interrupt this dastardly process.
You can stop it before it gets to the temple or after it leaves the temple. I wouldn't, if I were you, I would not go after it while it's in the temple. Lots of
That
crazy
would be
people
the
in
last thing they would expect, though.
John, I think we might end up slightly outnumbered if that was the case.
Yeah.
there. Well, that's up to you. But
Oh,
look,
I suppose.
These people that we don't need to know about, this group we don't need to know about, would they be able to like assist in any capacity?
they might be able to provide a bit of a distraction
Ah,
at a certain point if you find out where it's going or what it's doing. But we could have some locals cause some unrest nearby, enough to distract some of those cultists, to maybe help you out. We'd
Sounds
also
good.
be willing to pay you. Now we don't care if the ruby is destroyed or ends up in our hands. One of those two results.
Of course, I swear.
I don't want to be talking to you at the end of a successful task, and you're hiding a giant ruby under your tunic. All right.
I will make a note not to hide it under my tunic. I promise that will not be the case.
Very well.
Wink.
Acquire a large hat.
Is there a hat shop in town?
How big do you know is the ruby?
We don't know.
Always with
We've just
sense.
been told it's the biggest ruby they've ever found. It's not cut, obviously, so it's going to be a big.
But I
Big
appreciate,
rock.
but like their last ruby may have been this big that they found, and then this one's this big.
This one's this big. Oh, biggest ruby ever.
Well, the Sackmaster's rod of office, which had a ruby on the end, found in the mountains, right in the mines. That was the last and largest ruby drawn out of the earth for 40 years, handed down as a badge of office. That rod, and that's like that big. No, that goes on the end of a stick. It's like that big, about a golf ball size.
Okay, so this
Have
one
you
could be
played
like the
that
size
Atlantean game golf? Have you played that?
of course,
Of
an
course,
Atlantean
yeah,
game. Yeah. We're very good at it.
Is that the one for sea urchins?
No, yeah, you ride a seahorse and
With the sandbanks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Last one was about last biggest one was about that big.
Okay,
managed
so
to
we're
cut
not
down.
talking like Eye of Zoltan.
I don't know. They're like, people are saying but you know what it's like. The rumors, it starts, it spreads. Someone said it was bigger than the man's head. But that's bullshit, right?
Oh yes, definitely. That would not be a real thing at all.
Well, no one ever seen a ruby that big. Come on.
No, you are absolutely right. It is probably very small, and we will just destroy it so that it cannot be turned to evil.
Yeah.
Well, if you can get it and bring it to me, then that would be great.
Okay, so do we get paid the same amount if we bring the ruby or we destroy the ruby?
Well, yeah, if you destroy it and bring back some of the dust, yeah, and then we'll know you've done it.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, bring the thing back, right, and we'll give you 50 gold pieces.
Oh, all right.
Substantial.
I suppose. Okay, yes. Well, I mean, we came looking for work, and I suppose this is work.
It's
If you
upstanding
feel
work.
that might be too much heat for you, I've got a missing priest of Zathokwa whose head hasn't been spotted on a spike that we need to find.
That might be useful as well. Hmm.
There's a temple over in a residential quarter that
What's the
just the
time?
other day.
Do we know the time frame on the moving of the ruby to the temple?
Well, they're building up to some sort of big ceremony in like a few days' time, you could talk to some of the miners tomorrow. They're often in the market, selling what they've been given by the cultists.
And could you, through your various contacts who cannot be named or seen or ever met, could they also be providing some intelligence on the movements of the crab cult?
I will ask it. I will get messages in the morning out, see if there's anything they've seen.
Excellent. Okay. Oh,
If you talk to the miners in the market,
okay. So miners in the market, maybe we look for your lost priest. We find out when the gem is going to be coming through.
Yeah. Where was the priest last sighted?
He tells you where to find a temple in a residential quarter. A really kind old gentleman, Oric. He tended to many people in the area. There was a few years ago there was a disease that passed through that quarter, and they were greatly affected. And he helped those he could, and those he couldn't, he helped their passing. And he's greatly respected in the community. And until recently, the cult hadn't really got out there or they hadn't seen that part of town as important. But finally, they got round to just getting the whole of Huskarinn under their control. And he's disappeared, and people want to know whether they should be mourning him or if he can return. I don't know. Apparently, there was someone from one of the echelons seen in that area. So I think some of the local residents would be willing to talk to you if you were to go and investigate.
Okay.
I mean, some of them were in the tavern last night, but they're a bit shy talking in places like this where the cult tend to move around and investigate people. They're not wandering around in residence on their own too much because it's not public enough.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
we could do circumspect.
Yeah.
I'm knackered, so the boys will take over now. And it's you realise there's a couple of guys sitting around a tavern with weapons, and he's like, "Don't worry about them. They're just here to make sure, you guys don't rob the place." And I'm off to bed.
I'm very hurt. Lawful good will be absolutely insulted.
One guy behind him goes, "It's just business. It's not personal."
But you made it personal.
He didn't mean just you. And you can hear people snoring and farting and belching in the rest of the tavern.
Charming.
Sort of, but they all just got absolutely hammered and just collapsed. So you can imagine what it's like in there. And you guys go to bed, I assume? Or are you going to do anything else?
Is there a room with a bathtub in it? Because that's where she's likely to go to sleep.
You find a bath chamber, and you're able to take a bath.
She's actually just going to go sleep in it. She's going to put some of her little gel. It's the gel of the sea, so it's just special stuff. She's gathered up. Gel of the sea.
Is that what it's called in the book?
No, I've just made it up.
Okay, cool. I like it. I
had to feel like I had to have something that allowed her to participate in land-based things.
No, that's fair enough. So
she can mix it into water, and it makes it like seawater, which means she can soak and not dry out and whatnot. So she's going to fall asleep under the water in the tub, almost like a vampire in a coffin, but she's in the tub under the water.
Okay, cool. You can get the others to pull the bathtub into the room.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to look at Lawful and say, a little help.
Drag.
I'm guessing he's all muscle and not much intelligence.
It's not the biggest of bathtubs. It's not super heavy. It's not like a big enamel thing. It's
probably like just
wooden. Yeah, it's just like a wooden canoe, effectively. And you kind of pick it up and bring it in, and then bring in a few buckets of water and fill it up.
Yes, exactly that. The secret is to move the bathtub and then fill it.
Yeah. You've got one bucket that's 2 litres and another bucket that's 4 litres.
Oh, no.
And the bathtub is exactly...
It's really... Oh,
no. Okay, so you've got a waterbed and the others have sleeping bags. Okay,
Yeah.
so you sleep the night.
This is...
I assume your medicine man of power comes back the following day.
Following day, yeah.
And the daylight comes in through the window in the morning, but you're all sort of stirring as kind of dawn comes. Lafflegood probably doing his push-ups and chin-ups on the bars of the window, kind of thing.
Exactly 37.
36, 37, done.
No, it'll go like 5, 12, 13, 37.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's about 10 in reality. And you gather all your things, get out of the bathtub and slosh yourself off, wring out. You don't want to get everything around you completely soaked as well.
Oh no, she's got her studded leather is like almost like a fish scale.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she's made that way she can go into the sea with her armor on and stuff like that. So she's Atlantean. She's made adjustments.
You have to treat it a little bit with your what was it called? Gel of the sea.
That's what she
I like
calls
to
it.
think that you've kind of pulverized a bunch of jellyfish into a jar.
Pretty much it. Yeah. She's like gathered up some gross stuff that helps make it salty like the sea.
Cool. Okay. So you unlock the door and step out into the tavern, and there's a few people having their breakfast, and Gerd looks over and points at a table, and you can see that there's some food and cups waiting for you. It's nothing fancy. It's just like bread and cheese type stuff for breakfast. There's a little bit of meat as well, but not huge amounts. No shellfish. And you tuck into that and have your breakfast, and that's all pretty good. Okay, so the morning has come. You've had your breakfast. Everything's good. You are free to make your way around Huskrin, the recently crabified town. What do you want to do?
Or talk to some manners in the marketplace, maybe? Or do we want to go and find the priest first and kind of get that one done?
Maybe if we find the priest first, that'd help the miners open up to us.
Yeah.
Like build trust and respect. Okay.
I like your thinking.
You got to build your reputation when you come to a new town. And hopefully they've forgotten about last time we were here.
That was your fault last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
If that person had not moved at just that moment, then it would have been fine. But clearly, my God did not want that person's pockets to be utterly emptied and their trousers to fall off.
Not that time, at least. Next time.
You head out of the tavern as you're arguing as you go, finishing off a bit of bread and down a last ale and dropping the cup on the side as you head out. And the market is already in full action. This is a fishing town, so everything starts early. And there's people selling lots of fish, and there's a instant smell that hits you like a wall in the face of all these different fish, all arrayed on trays and tables and plates and dishes and all these kinds of things, all across many stalls. And there's almost like a divide where 2/3 of it is kind of like fish and associated, sea products, and the other third is miners and selling, tools and gear and equipment and all that kind of stuff, but also ore and rocks, and they're selling literally the stuff they've dug up out of the earth. And you can see that there's blacksmiths who have deals with them, and they've come over, and there's kind of a shipment that's come in, and carts are being taken over to one of the nearby blacksmiths with lots of ore and things, and it's kind of, there's lots moving around. Very busy. So you can head over to the minor area, or you're going to just head out of the marketplace to the residential quadrant district to go and find the see if you can track down this priest.
Should we make our way to the priest, or did you guys want to shop first?
Oh no, come on now, don't tempt me.
Straight through, I think.
No,
Okay.
stick to the original plan. I will not be distracted. Ooh!
One of you either side of Jean, you head through the market and kind of have to lift him off his feet occasionally to
What was that?
I can just imagine like a hawk and be like, "Oh, would you like to buy? Would you like to buy?"
Yeah.
Ah!
hey, look at this, oh, no.
It's all so shiny. Oh, okay.
You wrestle him through to the other side and make your way out into the residential district. And Gerd has given you directions to this temple. And it's a small structure, no bigger than a small house, it's not 2-story, as in internally it wouldn't be 2 stories, but it has on top of a 1-story structure a statue of Zathokwa, the sloth-bodied toad god with the membranous wings. And above the door there's a large eye symbol of the god, and it seems like the building's probably big enough to have a small congregation come in and attend prayer, and maybe a few other rooms inside. However, the place has kind of been daubed with graffiti, liar, sloth bastard, all these kind of things kind of daubed all over this thing, and crustacean things attached to it, shells here, smashed lobsters, it seems. Oh, what's going on there? And various things kind of daubing all over it. There's even like seaweed that's now dried, but like wrapped around like the posts and pillars of the outside of the structure, to like completely desecrate it in the name of the Crab King. And
Break off some of the seaweed, just bite down and chew it. It's like jerky. It's really good for you.
I find it very salty. It's not my taste, I don't think.
Might take a bit more of this.
in the local area, you can see that the nearest buildings or hovels or homes, small structures, maybe with an upstairs, but mostly sort of first-story buildings, where there's probably many more people than should be living in them, all crammed in together. There's lots of these little hovel kind of houses around, fires burning, people cooking, lots of life, but all crammed into very tight spaces. But the homes around this building have been abandoned, almost as if, no one should go near it. But you can see people on the edges of that kind of zone, in their homes, occasionally looking over at the property. And once or twice, as you're kind of moving through this district, you've seen cultists of the first echelon moving about with purpose. But as you come to this temple, you don't see anyone in particular.
Use my trident to knock on the door.
There's no answer.
I think it's safe to go inside.
Oi, oi! You hear a young girl's voice from off to one side.
Hearing voices again.
Oh, hey, and as you kind of turn around, she's like, "Whoa," looks at you, Atlantean, with your...
Hello there, little one.
Oh, you got gills.
Yes, I'm Atlantean. I'm from the sea, but not the bad crab people sea.
Huh? Oh, okay. Like, you guys fight the crabs?
We're indeterminate on our current standing with the crabs.
What?
We don't think we like them.
I don't like him.
We haven't actually fought them.
We're new to the whole crab situation, so
Yeah.
we're finding our feet currently.
Last time we were here, there were no crabs.
It's only been like a month.
Yes, Gerd. Do you know Gerd? You look a bit young to know Gerd, maybe.
What?
The
Gerd,
barkeep.
a man called Gerd, who runs one of the taverns in town. He told us that the crab people had only recently arrived, but they had turned everything over and they had taken over the temple. And
A woman comes sort of not running, but not walking. She's kind of quickly getting across this road to get over to you. And she kind of embraces the child and says, I think you should head home now. And the
Apologies,
kid runs
madam.
off. You need not apologise. And she looks at the temple. She says, they need apologise. We have not seen Auric for a few days now. And we are worried. We've spread word around town. It seems that clearly that word has got somewhere. So I don't know who's spoken to you, but I'm glad they have.
it was
Gerd, the barkeep.
Gerd.
Gerd.
I rarely venture into the centre of town these days. I try to keep my family safe here on the edge of town.
Very understandable. Would we like to give credit where credit is due? And you were asking who told us, and it was Gerd. And we are here to help you find your beloved cleric.
Yes. Well, it's curious because there was a kerfuffle. There were cultists who came and went into the temple and then came out. My daughter says not all of them came out, but I'm not sure. She may be seeing things.
Not all of the cultists came out.
Not all of the cultists came out, and since that time we haven't seen Auric. Shortly after that, they desecrated this temple to Zathokwa, and she kind of makes a symbol. And one of their blue-handed weirdos stood on the step and shouted out to the whole town that no one should live within 20 paces of this place and that it is cursed. And you realise now that her and her daughter were, a distance away, so she's not treating it as if it's complete nonsense. She's just in case, probably. You never know what mad gods there are in the world. So none of us have gone near the building, and we don't know if we haven't even gone in. No one wants to go near it.
Okay.
Well, you look like you're about to enter. I would be careful.
So the cultists went in. They definitely didn't haul Auric out.
No, we haven't seen him at all. That's the weird thing. We're worried he's lying hurt inside.
Right, yeah.
But we don't dare step across. And she kind of looks around, and every few minutes someone comes past.
Alice is just going to turn around and walk through the door of the temple.
I'll be right behind.
Okay.
Thank you, miss.
I can. She's like, she like takes a step without thinking about it. She steps backwards, but she says to you, Jean, we will try and delay any cultists that come by.
Okay, well, not at risk to yourselves.
Well, yeah, I don't want to start a fight with these cultist people. No, but we would try and distract them.
Well, okay, we will be...
Just shut the door when you go in, then they may not notice. Just don't bang about, maybe. Anyway, she seems to be like worried that like whatever's going to happen to you guys might like divinely sort of splash over onto her, right? So she's just like backing away. So I thought we're with you, and she walks off. So, Alika, you I assume you're not like booting the door in, but you're just
No,
like
because
pushing.
I'm just going to try. I'm just going to try it the old classic
you
way.
try the
Does
door and it opens, right? And clearly, fear is a useful tool that these cultists are using on their villagers. They're just poor, wretched folk living in the shadow of one horrible god after another. And you kind of open the door, and inside it's a very simple affair. Low benches, not even pews, benches set up, and there's like this. It's like really simple room, really stark, almost kind of like stucco walls, right? And you go in. There's no ornamentation apart from a giant Zathokwa on the far wall, right? And you can see even on the stone floor where many knees have knelt, and there's little divots in certain places across the floor. And at the far end there's two doors going off to other rooms, and there is a like a little plinth type thing where someone might stand and put a book, or lectern type thing. Not like a lofty thing on the side of the wall where you climb a flight of stairs to stand, a pulpit kind of thing. It's just like where a simple preacher might stand. And the door on the right is slightly ajar, and some of the benches have been pushed aside, and you can see that a few bits at the side of the room. There's like a simple drapes for pulling over the windows. One of them's been ripped, but there's no blood anywhere. So it looks like things have been moved about and maybe someone got a bit manhandled, but it doesn't look like there's like big splashes of blood anywhere.
My friends, if you would like to close the door and stay here, I will move stealthily through the debris and see if I can figure my way around the doors.
We can have another roll.
I'm looking at move silently, and
Yep.
there doesn't seem to call for a roll.
Well, there's a move silently. You've got a 5 in 12 chance of doing it,
Yeah, okay.
and it's dexterity. So that's now 6 in 12.
Ooh, that is
So it's
even.
50-50.
Go on then.
Nifty 50.
Still a D12.
Yep.
Dice of all, as we know.
Yes, indeed.
Right, 12. Oh, my dice rolls are like. Isn't it? Clang.
Oh.
You did say make
11.
me clanging. Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
So as you're making your way across the room, and the guys have stayed by the door,
Yeah.
you're kind of sneaking along, and you step over one bench, you move around here, you get to the other end of the room. Where were you going? Were you going towards the open door or just looking around?
The open door in particular. I wanted to see if I could get
Okay.
up around it without alerting anybody.
Well, you get up to the door, and unfortunately you lose your balance slightly, and you lean on the door, and it creaks.
Excellent.
You don't hear anything around you, but there's like a heart-wrenching moment as this creaking noise through this quite because they've also, all the people have moved away from this building. It's fairly quiet now that you're inside, and the creak is pretty loud. The one thing you do notice, Jean, is that it echoes probably more than you would expect.
My dungeon senses are tingling.
Ooh,
Hark, lawful. That is how you move silently.
apparently so.
Well,
Can we come forward now, John?
I moved silently, and then I stopped noisily. That was where I need to work on that last bit.
I like the way Dan has picked an Atlantean shaman, but still has the same attitude to sneaking around to all of his other characters. I'm going to kick the door in and shout. That's cool. You so you're going to go through the door?
If there
You're going
is
to look through the door.
You look through the door.
Okay.
Round the door. Not through.
There is an antechamber, and it's kind of like almost looks like a little nave on the side, kind of thing, like a long bit along the side, stretches away from the door, and you can see at the far end of the room there is a statue of Zethokwa that has been moved, and there is a hole in the floor.
Oh.
Oh,
I said my dungeon senses were tingling, didn't I?
very good.
And lying on the floor is the body of a cultist.
Oh, what color is their arm?
Red.
No, orange.
First echelon.
Yeah.
Make sure they're dead.
Okay, you move up. This body is a young woman. She is probably late teens, early 20s. She's got a short sword in her red hand that is still there. She's kind of collapsed. There's a bit of blood on her sword, and the front of her face has been caved in.
Oh.
And she's collapsed onto the floor, like still holding her weapon. Clearly a sudden and extremely violent blow to her skull.
Yeah.
We CSI this.
Can you CSI this? Yeah, your vision goes. You find a small hair fragment, and we take that back to the lab. It looks like someone with a mace has bashed this woman in the face.
Okay, good. All right, that was basically what I was going for. It's like it doesn't match the fist of Quithog.
No. And as you kind of look to one side, you can see that there's another door. So you kind of look down the room, you walk down the room, you could see down there, go up to it. You turn left, there's another door. And in the back, there's like a simple bedroom, like clearly his chamber, right? And there is a drain in there. And there is one of those, those wooden mannequin things that you hang armor off.
Mm.
There's one of those. And there is a shield lying on the floor as if someone has, in haste, tried to get stuff and not managed to pick their shield up.
Oh, it's going to be Boromir all over again.
Down the hole, there is a ladder.
Does Lawful need a new shield?
You can always use a second shield.
I was thinking I could use a first shield.
You could first shield, that'd be good. Do you know how to use it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think you can have small shields, and it looks like a small shield.
A big shield, or a tower shield, or...
I mean, you're pretty, convinced of your ability to sneak. I don't know.
I moved very silently, thank you very much.
Wow.
Or that made all of the noise.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
No, I just opened the door normally and asked if anybody was inside. I don't think that was particularly noisy.
It's a small shield.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, it's round.
All round shield. Does it have...
And it gives you +1 armor class,
Oh,
which
that's-
reduces your armor class by 1.
Yes, of course it does.
Because we're in old school world, baby.
Because it makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
Does the cultist have any shells on them?
Oh, yeah.
Can I take them? All the shells.
Well, funny you should say that, actually, because the body is lying on the floor. And this bash to the face clearly killed her. And you as you're looking now, on the chest there's like a resplendent with various necklaces with shells, but they are smashed. And there's like a secondary wound as if someone bashed them all with a mace.
Deliberately broke all the shells.
Ah.
Tuck my shell underneath my robes.
It would appear that this Auric might not be so old and frail as he's been predicted shown to us or told
Oh.
us.
They had like an armor mannequin, and they forgot their shield. Do not seem like. Oh, hang on. Oh no, wait. It's the old retired, now gone to be nice to people person, isn't it? Oh, we've been here before.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Found a new way, but has to had to turn back to his old ways to save the people he cares about. His
Yes.
flock.
Okay. So the lesson we learned from last time is to not try and steal things from them and be very polite.
Yes. Yes. Yes, John. That is what we learned
Agreed.
last time.
Yes.
We learned that lesson.
And
Yes.
don't kill their dog.
And whatever you do, do not kill the dog. No, don't want to kill dogs anyway. Dogs are
No,
nice.
true. Cool.
Who's going first?
I'll go
Before?
first.
There were
yeah,
a few
yeah.
other things in the chamber, the bed
Oh.
chamber.
Oh,
Like some scripture of Zathokwa, some personal belongings, clothes and things, like a wardrobe with things in, that kind of thing. If you wanted to rifle through it all, but you did just say you're going to be nice and not steal their stuff, so I don't know whether you fancied that. I don't know
think
how
in-
Conan you're going with your adventurers.
I think in Aleka's mind right now, there's blood on the sword, which suggests he might be injured.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
the blood on the sword, I'm assuming it's all coagulated. It's not fresh.
No, it's not fresh. No. It's a couple of days ago, so.
Are there any torches? Are there any lanterns?
Yes, there are actually for evening sessions. There are oil lamps in the main temple.
So we will borrow a couple of those to
Okay.
take on this ladder.
Sounds
in the
good.
expectation of darkness.
Okay. Right. Well, you start to make your way down the ladder into the darkness. Climbing a ladder and putting a light before you is quite tricky, especially when it's a lamp full of oil, right? So you're kind of... who's going first?
Then what?
Okay. So Laffel, you are headed... Mr. Good, you're headed down, climbing down the ladder. One hand, you've got to put your sword away, you have your shield over your back.
Yeah.
With the lantern down, and you're climbing down the ladder. And this is... clearly this building is built on some kind of old sewers beneath the city, and you've seen evidence of this in other structures, the drain in your tavern and all that kind of stuff. So there's clearly some old sewers under the town of Huskrin, and you start to descend down into them. And as you get further down, you can see there's blood on the ladder, dried blood, which is what you were expecting, right? And as you head down, you get down to the bottom, and these sewers are kind of almost round, cross section with little walkways along the edges, and in the middle there's this water liquid flowing in and out. You catch the whiff of salt, almost like the sea. They're using seawater in some way. It's connected up, probably just pumping shit out into the sea, right? Because they don't really care. They're not very that environmentally friendly. But also, there's obviously human crap and waste and and people are chucking all kinds of shit down here. And not everyone upstairs is connected to it. Some of them are, some of them aren't. So there's patches and breaks, and occasionally there's a stretch of what looks like kind of clear water, that flows past. But you kind of come down onto this, walkway along the inside, and you can see blood dripping, and it kind of going off in a certain, in that direction rather than that direction. Right, so
Right.
you start to move in that direction so the others can come down.
Yeah.
And they start to come down, head down. And as you all kind of get feet on mucky ledge, the smell is quite ripe. Although you've just been in the fish market, you're now in the shit market, and you're like, oh, this is, it's quite strong down here. You can hear kind of in the distance, splashing noises, and a strange, weird, flappy, fleshy mouth noise. And as you kind of head along the side, you think that perhaps you're not the only creatures wandering around in the sewers today. But we're going to leave our story there for tonight.
Da-da-da.
And next time, we will start to explore the sewers of Huskrin. Old and, it's not like a advanced sewer system. It's kind of old, simple, few connecting systems and probably more little drains feeding into big tubes. So that was our first foray into Hyperborea or Gartopoborea or Hypergartopia or whatever you want to call it. I like Hypergartopia. That's pretty cool. But anyway, thank you, players, for stepping into this new world with me. I think it's going to be lots of fun. Already a bit crazy. Thank you to our viewers. If you're watching this back, please don't forget to go and check out all our social medias. Links are below. Please give us a like, etc., standard stuff. Join us in Gartopia, where we are having a nice cozy chats about role-playing. It's not a stressful Discord where everyone's hammering you every second of every day. But there's good chats, it's a good community, and lots of people just surviving through role-playing. I believe tomorrow... No, is it tomorrow night or is it next week? I think it's next week now that we have the One Ring. And we will be back next week with more of Tales from Gartopoborea. Or, as it will probably be known, Doom of the Crab King. And thank you very much for joining us. We've been Garblag Games. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.